The story begins with shockwaves that echoed not just across Russia but around the entire world. Ukrainian drones, small yet powerful symbols of modern asymmetric warfare, struck one of Moscow's most iconic skyscraper clusters, the Moscow City Towers, valued at more than $1.2 billion. This was not just an attack on a piece of architecture, it was a symbolic strike at the heart of Russia's financial and political pride. Moscow City, with its futuristic skyline and glass towers, had long represented Russia's push to be seen as a modern financial hub, an eastern rival to New York or London. When Ukrainian drones reached deep into the Russian capital and hit this area, it raised questions not just about security and defense, but about the vulnerability of even the most powerful nations in today's age of drone warfare. Hello everyone, welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep getting in-depth analysis of world conflicts, geopolitics, and the hidden stories behind the headlines. Today we are diving into a dramatic event that has captured the attention of millions: how Ukrainian drones managed to strike the Moscow City Towers, causing shock across Russia and sending a clear message to the world. On the surface, this incident looks like another episode in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. But when we dig deeper, we realize this strike has multiple layers of meaning. It was not just about damaging a building. It was about sending a message of reach, capability, and resilience. Moscow City Towers were built to project power, wealth, and modernization. Now, these same towers have become symbols of vulnerability. From the outside, the exterior of the Moscow City Towers is breathtaking. Shimmering glass facades rise high above the city skyline, catching the light in a way that makes them look futuristic and invincible. Designed with a mix of Russian ambition and international architectural collaboration, these towers were meant to showcase luxury, strength, and modern identity. For years, they stood as monuments to Russia's ability to compete with the West in finance, architecture, and culture. But the Ukrainian drone strike changed that image overnight. Suddenly, the glass no longer looked untouchable. Instead, it looked fragile, exposed, and surprisingly easy to penetrate. Inside, the interiors of these towers tell another story. Offices filled with international companies, luxury apartments for the wealthy elite, restaurants with panoramic views, and modern designs meant to symbolize prosperity. Yet, as reports came in after the drone strike, many of those offices and interiors were left in chaos, with windows shattered and furnishings damaged. The interiors, though designed for comfort and power, revealed how quickly modern luxury can be undone by modern warfare. In this sense, the interior story is short but powerful, from elegance to destruction in a matter of minutes. When we look at the performance of the drones themselves, the message becomes even more striking. Ukrainian forces have been steadily developing and deploying drones not just as tactical tools on the battlefield, but as strategic weapons capable of reaching hundreds of kilometers into Russian territory. The performance of these drones speaks volumes. They are cheap compared to traditional weapons, agile in flight, difficult to detect, and capable of carrying enough explosive payload to damage critical infrastructure. For Russia, which spends billions on air defenses like the S-400, the fact that small drones can slip through and strike at the very heart of Moscow shows a shocking gap in performance between traditional defense and modern offense. The Ukrainian drones may not be massive in size, but their performance is redefining how wars are fought in the 21st century. Safety features come into the spotlight here, not in the traditional sense of what protects civilians inside a building, but in terms of what was missing. Moscow's safety infrastructure, including radar systems, anti-drone technology, and emergency preparedness, was supposed to guarantee safety for its most important landmarks. Yet the drone strike exposed failures. Civilians were forced to evacuate, windows shattered near apartments, and people panicked as alarms rang across the business district. Safety, which was marketed as one of the strong points of Moscow's modernization, seemed weak in the face of small, buzzing machines flown by remote operators hundreds of kilometers away. This raises uncomfortable questions for Russian authorities. how can they guarantee safety when even their capital is within easy reach of Ukraine's relatively low-cost drone program? The unique selling points of this entire incident are what make it stand out in world conflict history. First, the symbolism. Hitting a financial and political symbol like the Moscow City Towers creates shock far greater than striking a military base in the middle of nowhere. Second, the reach. Ukraine demonstrated it can strike deep inside Russian territory, including the heart of its capital. Third, the psychological impact. This strike was not about destroying the entire skyscraper but about showing that no place is out of reach, no building too tall, and no amount of wealth can guarantee immunity. These unique factors combine to make this event not just another drone attack, but a geopolitical statement carved into the skyline of Russia's capital. In terms of price, the contrast is staggering. The Moscow City Towers are valued at over $1.2 billion, representing years of investment, construction, and symbolic importance. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian drones that managed to damage these towers cost only a fraction of that amount. Some estimates suggest a few $1,000s per drone, making the cost to impact ratio unbelievably unbalanced. This asymmetry in cost is at the heart of modern warfare. Small investments in drones can cause damage to billion-dollar assets, shifting the balance of power and forcing even wealthy nations to rethink their strategies. Russia may have spent billions building and protecting Moscow's skyline, but Ukraine showed that money alone cannot guarantee safety or control. The conclusion is clear and dramatic. The Ukrainian drone strike on Moscow's $1.2 billion city towers represents not just a physical blow, but a symbolic one. It showed the world that in modern warfare, size and wealth do not guarantee safety. It demonstrated the growing importance of drones as both tactical and strategic weapons. It revealed cracks in Russia's defenses and raised questions about how far Ukraine is willing to go in taking the fight to its enemy's doorstep. For the global audience, it is a reminder that war today is not confined to battlefields, it can strike at skylines, financial districts, and symbols of national pride. And so, as we reflect on this dramatic incident, we see how one strike redefined perceptions. From the glittering exterior of the Moscow City Towers to their fragile interiors, from the powerful performance of cheap drones to the failures of expensive defenses, from the illusion of safety to the reality of vulnerability, from billion-dollar investments to low-cost destruction, the story of Ukrainian drones striking Moscow is one that will be remembered for years to come. It is not just about buildings and explosions. It is about the clash between old power and new technology, between wealth and resilience, between symbols of pride and instruments of defiance.